Breathe on me, oh Lord. Father, breathe on me, oh Lord. Breathe on me, oh Lord.
Shalom, shalom. My name is Princess Leticia Maxwell Ngoy. I am the Revolutionist. By the grace of the living God, I bring you a message the Lord gave to me on the mystery of divine speed. We know what speed is. When we talk about speed, someone can say speed is the ability to quickly move with good acceleration to a particular destination. So speed have been defined in several ways that many people begin to think that speed could only mean maybe 180 kilometers per hour. Many preachers have preached on speed, divine speed. Go to some websites, social media, you see a lot of messages on divine speed. But the truth is that when we add divine to the speed, it has a different meaning. When we talk about divinity, we talk about God Almighty. We talk about the Trinity. So divine speed, we can also say that it is a speed given by God or directed by God. But I think that in order to satisfy maybe our urge for what we call breakthrough or for material things, we have given the word divine speed. We have pushed it to a direction that is not actually right. Divine speed is from God. Anytime you see the theme of a program in a church with divine speed, and so to say, a prophet of God is going to be preaching, a real guest speaker is going to be is being invited to minister on divine speed. Such programs are usually jam-packed because a lot of people are going there to gain speed, to run beyond their normal, what they can offer normally. So people are going there. But with my encounter with God, the Lord himself began to redirect me on what divine speed is. And the Lord made me to understand that divine speed is not 200 kilometers per hour like we have been taught in so many seminars and we have been prayed for. Divine speed is a calculated movement according to the mandate of God, according to the purpose and the plan of God. That is divine speed. The Lord said to me, divine speed can even mean 20 kilometers per hour. Divine speed could mean stop at a point. Divine speed is not usually keep running, as we have said. Run with all speed to your destination. And the Lord began to bring some things to my knowing. If we look at the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, if you read through from 1 to 10, you understand that there is a time for everything. There are seasons, there are movements. There is also speed. There is a time to run. There is a time to stop. There is a time to wait. But in the message circulating around this generation only defined divine speed as keep running without looking behind. That is not behind speed. And when the Lord was talking to me on this in 2013, no, rather 2012, he said to me, when somebody needs to get a thing at a particular spot, he said a bus stop, somebody needs to pick something there, and the person is on a high speed of maybe 150 kilometers per hour, and there is something the person needs to pick up, something the person needs to see on a particular point, but the person is on that high speed, and the person gets to the point where he or she needed to pick up something, to see something, to observe something, but because he or she is on a high speed, he asks me, would such a person be able to see that which he or she is supposed to see? And I said no. And he asked me why. And I said because the speed at which they are going is too fast to be able to observe anything. And in most cases, what they are supposed to observe or see or pick up is something which will actually enhance whatever they are doing or help their destiny. But because they are on high speed, they were unable to observe that. The Lord gave me that example. And he said to me, if somebody is going also to another location, he used the environment where I was living then to give me these illustrations. He says somebody is going at that point. That is where the gold the person is looking for is being placed. And this person decided to be on a high speed. And when the person get to the place, he ran past the place because of high speed. He says sometimes divine speed can even be walking. In the realm, you are just walking, you are not even running, but you are on divine speed. So divine speed is to move at the calculated timing and frequency of God, not frequency of the world, not frequency of your heart, not the frequency of your desire, but the frequency of God. So the frequency of God is not keep running. It can be wait, it can be stand, it can be sit. That is the frequency. A particular time in 2009, there was a young man that came to work with me in the ministry. So he told me he has been suffering for many years and nothing good is happening around him. And he asked me to pray with him to find out the will of God concerning him. So when I prayed, the response the Lord gave to me also dazed me. The Lord said, the work I want him to do for now is every morning, let him pick the church tracts and move to a particular bus stop and stand at that bus stop and be distributing tracts to people. We print a lot of tracts to distribute to people, that he should continuously do that, because when he is doing that, he said that is where he will meet him. So, but the Lord didn't tell me what it means to meet him or how he's going to meet him, but he said, tell him from today he should embark on evangelism. He should go out every morning, dress up like somebody who is actually going to work. He should dress up like that, pick up the tracts, stand at that bus stop, and keep giving the people the tracts and talking to them. When I told him, he became very sad. He said to me, I should pray to the Lord to give him divine speed. To give him speed. At least when the Lord gives him speed, he's doing his business, then he can be able to do God's work. Then his heart will be relaxed to work for God. How can he be asking God to open doors of blessings to him, and the Lord is telling him to pick up a tracts and go to junction, a particular bus stop, to stand to distribute tracts? He got upset and he refused to do that. God's divine speed at that point was for him to be at that bus stop because he is going to meet him there. He refused. So the Lord have opened my understanding to know that what we call divine speed today is not divine speed, but flesh speed, emotional speed, speed we created by ourselves to meet up with our desire. I am not also saying that people should be crawling. That is not my message. There are times too the Lord will order you to run because there is a target that needs practical speed to get to. I know some of the people in the Bible who said the Lord gave them divine speed. That when things are urgent, the Lord gives you urgent speed. When all these things are under divine speed. So under divine speed, there could be urgent speed, there could be slow speed. All of them is fulfilling the plan and pattern of God doing things. Remember, the ways of the Lord are mysterious. Like in the book of Genesis 24, verse 12 to 21, Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, was thanking God and being grateful that the Lord gave him good speed in his mission to get Isaac a wife. The Lord gave him good speed because that was what was needed. And I also know that in the book of 2 John 10 to 11, the apostle wrote and said, when people bring a message that is contrary to the one we have, the message of the Lord Jesus Christ, he said, do not bid them God's speed. So, divine speed is God's speed. So, and God's speed, like in the account of Saul in the scriptures, King Saul, there was a time Saul was in war front. The moment he looked up, he saw the enemies coming after them. He saw the enemy appearing like to be defeating them. Saul became restless because he was waiting for Samuel, prophet Samuel. And the Bible said that Samuel delayed to come. According to Saul, it was a delay and waste of time. But according to God, it was his divine speed. Because someone never committed sin against God by delaying to come at the time Saul was waiting for him. But Saul, who operated mostly on flesh, waited and felt, oh, if I keep waiting, the enemies are going to invade us and kill all of us. And he saw his men even departing from him, so he became restless. He did not realize that at this point, there could be something which the Lord is trying to birth at that moment. He could not see it. He stood up by himself, offered sacrifice to God. It was not in his assignment as the king of Israel to offer sacrifice to God. It was purely the job, the duty of Samuel. And you see what happens. Immediately he was done with the sacrifice to God, Samuel appeared. And Samuel asked him, Saul, what have you done? He said to him, because you delayed in coming, and the people are departing, and the enemies are just facing us right here. So I had to do it because you wasted time. I want to tell us, sometimes the speed of God may appear like a waste of time. It may appear like delay. Contrary to what we have been said, we have been told that every time the speed of God must be running at a high, in fact, with a high speed. No, 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 no. It is not so. The Lord told me that the people need to understand His divine speed. One of my daughters in the Lord said to me, where the Lord have taken her to build the ministry, the Lord told her, 2 years is for laying of foundation. That the 2 years is to water the land with prayers, is to invest in prayers, because the ministry He is giving to her is, the foundation cannot just be laid casually. So can you imagine? But to some people, when you have spent 6 months in ministry and you're not having at least 200 members, then it is not growing. Oh my God. Divine speed is a calculated movement of God within a space of time. So God can decide to move and cover 1,000 kilometers in 1 hour. That is His move. He can also decide to cover just maybe 500 kilometers in 10 years. That is divine speed, because God is trying to build something. So what we need to understand is that at every time, what we need to ask or to find out from the Lord is, this your divine speed? Is this what you want? Not what we want. Many times the people build ministry based on what they want. The people chase the things of this life based on what they want. There are some of us that want divine speed, even at early age. But God is seeing that what they are asking for may probably kill them. He wants them to walk at a pace. I remember personally when I was, the Lord arrested me. I became a church worker, and I was expecting a lot of business, and we will do anointing service. All of us are expecting a huge miracle. Our pastor then will prophesy to us, if I be a servant of God, in 1 week, all of you are getting divine speed. All of you are getting breakthrough. All of you are going to count money. In 7 days, you're coming back to the church with a huge testimony. But mine became different. Then one day when prayers, a prophecy came, and the Lord said, listen, Leticia, I want you to walk in my speed. Don't run faster than me. Because as it stands, I will not give you the things you are asking for, because I do not trust you yet. I am still trying to raise you. Because if I give you what you want, you may even stop coming to church. And I do not want you to run away from me. So the only thing I can give to you is, I will just be giving you the money you need to feed, to take care of yourself, basic needs. The Lord told me, I will never give you anything more than that. I cried that day in the church, to the point that even the pastor and some of the church workers, they were coming to encourage me, to console me. I never minded it, because I was actually expecting a lot that week. I know what I have done. I know the moves I've made. I was really expecting real money that I've planned within myself, even priced a new car I am going to get. But the fact is that what the Lord said was the truth, because within me, I never wanted to be a pastor. I just wanted to remain maybe a church worker. I don't want anything to consume my time in the church. People that were with me in the workers group never knew that thing was in my heart. But God saw it. So it is God who gives us our speed. And God said, when I have trained you and established you, and I can trust you not to run away from me, I will give you, I will restore everything back, even the years the enemy have destroyed, even the years I've withheld back things, even the years of your training. He said, I will multiply all and I will give it to you once. And that took me back to the book of Joel chapter 12 verse 25. Yes, I'm correct. Where the Lord was promising them that he is going to restore back the years which the locusts have destroyed. You can see the speed. So we should not be angry with God or be desperate about this divine speed, chasing it out of contest. And I want to tell you one truth before I round up. If you are a child of God, there are prayers, there are needs you will have. God will never answer them. Maybe for even 5 years. Maybe for even 10 years. That doesn't mean that God has become powerless, or maybe that the enemy has become so powerful that they are now hindering prayers. No, there are some things you don't need now. There are some things that you will only need in the next 10 years. And if they are given to you now, you may misbehave or it may kill you. But some pastors are trying to prophesy people out of their destiny with God by claiming if they be a man of God, 24 hours you have a car. Have you asked the Lord, Father, are you ready to give this man a car now? Have you asked the Lord, the house you as a prophet is promising and prophesying into someone, is that the will of God for him? So that is why many of them have prophesied, nothing is happening, and the one they prophesied to began to see them as liars, and they keep moving from church to church because they believe that they need divine speed. So I've told you sometimes, divine speed too can be staying hungry. God may want to train you for some reasons with hunger to let you know that living by bread alone is not a good life. He may want to train you that way to get your faithfulness, to draw you close to him. That is divine speed. So the divine speed at that time means you may not be able to afford a meal for a whole day. But God is watching, and the truth again is that you will not die. One way or the other, you're surviving. So divine speed is mysterious. We need to go back to the drawing board with God. Let's seek the heart of God, not our emotions. Let's stop commanding God to follow us. It is our duty and obligation and our calling to follow the Lord, not the other way around. Remain blessed. I am the revolutionist, Leticia Maxwell Ngoy. I want you to follow my messages, my teachings. You can subscribe by just tapping the subscribe key, and you can touch just the bell on my YouTube so you can get notification anytime I published a teaching like this one, which is coming constantly, knowing the will of God. Then if you want to send me a message, you can send me a message directly to my website, leticiamax.com. You search me, you send me a message to the website, or you say connect with me on Facebook, Princess Letty Maxwell. May the Lord bless you. I love you all.
You are the most high God, lily of the valley, shaking in glory. You are Lord, you are Lord. You are Lord, you are Lord.